Will it give people notifications if it's live?
Yeah, well, give me a note. Yep, look, you're on mine. Well, that's on my chance.
Does that look live?
Okay, so I'm joining live. Click that.
What?
Here, click
It's stupid.
Oh, see, there's 5 people watching.
Who's watching?
Nope, that's not real.
Hi, parents. We're trying to figure this out. Is it? I've never been live before. Makes me nervous. Oh, I'm live. How fancy. It's delayed. Can I see their comments?
Yeah, the comments will stroll this through here.
Like, can I come? This is too high. Thanks. Oh, that's better. Yay.
Got 10 people watching. Rachel.
Oh, did it?
You hear you perfect. It looks perfect.
Oh, they can hear me?
It may still keep going. That's okay. I'll let you know.
I think so. It's when it's live, you can't pause it. Alrighty, it is 5:30, and so I'll get started. I'm Tiaka Ivory, the principal at Chancey Elementary School. I will be honest with you, I've never done Facebook Live before, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited that you're here and you're engaged and you're looking to learn more about Chancey Elementary and what we can offer you. There are some people in the chat that have been planted. They are the assistant principal, the AIC, the Go Clarity coach, literacy coach, and just a few other people that will answer questions as I'm talking. I'll try to make sure that I monitor the chat, but if I miss something, I will hopefully they'll be able to answer your questions, or they will let me know. So again, I'm Tiaka Ivory. I'm excited to be here this evening, and I'm super excited that you are here, most importantly. Chancey Elementary has about 537 students this year. We're grades K through 5. We have a very large ESL population. We're about 30% ESL, or have about 30% of our population is ESL, which means we service students that come to us speaking different languages, and we make sure that we help with their English proficiency while also teaching them content that they need to know to go on to other levels, middle school and high school, of course. We have CEP at Chancey Elementary. I'm trying to think of the things that we share with people when they come to a normal showcase of schools, and just to share that with you. But Chancey has a CEP program, and that begins at 7 a.m. and it lasts until 6 o'clock. CEP is a child care program sponsored by the YMCA. So they have staff that is here before and after school to just provide services or child care for you. Let me think. We have
How many students are enrolled?
about 537 students are enrolled at Chancey. We have currently we have 4 fifth grade classes, 4 fourth grade classes, only 3 third grade classes, 4 second grade classes, 4 first, 4 kindergarten, and that embodies all of our classroom teachers. We also offer special area classes. That's an opportunity for students to experience art, music, PE, STEM lab, and library. And that's the chance that teachers use to plan with one another, and they plan together. It's called a common planning, and it's important because teachers are in a profession that, because they work in their classrooms alone, they don't always get to discuss what kids are learning, how they're learning, instructional strategies that they use, standards that we're required to teach, and assessments where we can use to help kids understand those standards, or to determine if kids understand those standards. And so a common planning is very important to us, so that teachers can have professional opportunities to get together and learn from each other, but learn how kids are doing and learn what they can do differently to help meet students' needs. At Chancey in 4th and 5th grade, we offer band and orchestra. That's a district-wide thing, but we do have a good number of our students that participate in it, and they enjoy it, and they learn a lot, and they go on to middle school prepared to play the instrument of their choice, or to, it's not, I guess, choir singing, but to play the instrument of their choice. A lot of people ask about after-school activities. We offer, in terms of sports, we have basketball and cheerleading. And we are a part of the East End Louisville Metro Park League. And several schools in our cluster are also in that league, but those are the schools we compete against. And so we have a basketball team, and then we also have cheerleaders that are on that team as well, or on their own team. They typically practice one night a week, and games are on Friday. And that's all directed by the East End Louisville Metro Recreation League. We also offer soccer. That's something that's relatively new, and that's typically in grades 4th and 5th as well. Depending on the number of kids that we have interested, we will open it up to 3rd graders. We've done that, or we have 3rd and 4th on there. It just kind of depends on what our population wants from us, and we make sure that we meet their needs in any way possible. We also have, there's basketball, there's cheerleading. Oh, cross country. Mr. Oldham is our PE teacher, and he single-handedly sponsors cross country. And I will say that we are not super competitive with cross country, but our kids love it. It's just a lot of fun, and they're able to get out and really grow. Cross country is that individualized sport, and so they set their own goals, and they get to surpass them all on their own as well. And that's a really cool thing for kids to develop at this age. let's think, what else do we have that we offer? We do have our art teacher has an art program that she offers after school as well. And we have student council, so that's a leadership thing that's offered here at Chancey Elementary. And it's not just fourth and fifth, it's third, fourth, and fifth, and we're branching out to K1 and 2 as well. Our primary talent pool is kindergarten, first, second, and third, and those are kids that have not taken the COGAT test, which qualifies them for fourth or for advanced program, but primary talent pool is an opportunity to identify students that excel in academics or in any area of giftedness. And we try to figure out at that age what their area of giftedness might be, allow them an opportunity to, kind of play around with that and see if we can help them grow. And then when they're in fourth and fifth grade, that's when they would be identified as being a part of the gifted and talented program or an advanced program. And depending on your COGAT score, if it's higher than 25, some middle schools accept it as gifted and talented.
You have a question coming in.
Oh, yay.
They asked, they'd like to know more about cross-content opportunities for students. So the special area teachers and regular ed teachers get to ever work together?
And that's a great question. The question is about cross-content. And yes, our special area teachers get to attend that professional learning opportunity or professional learning. It's a collaborative opportunity where they interact with common core content teachers during their planning time to plan and to come up with cross-curricular opportunities. Our music teacher also has taken the liberty of having musical productions, and she'll work with the classroom teachers to kind of determine what they're working on, but then also ways that she can enhance their music skills and enjoyment of music. And so, yes, we do make sure that the teachers plan together and have an opportunity to do that.
She wants to also know, do we have any project-based learning opportunities?
Of course we do. Chancey's very big in project-based learning. A couple years ago only, we had teachers go to get trained on project-based learning. It wasn't just a district push. It was something that teachers naturally wanted to do. The cool thing about Chancey is a lot of our curriculum, specifically the reading curriculum, naturally provides opportunities for children to do project-based learning or project-based learning. And so teachers know how to do that, and they have a curriculum that supports it. So yes, absolutely, we offer both project-based learning and other things.
Okay, another question. How many students are in each class?
Well, the state determines the number of students in each class, and I believe in fifth grade it's 29, and fourth grade it's 28. Third grade is 24, and I'm looking for help because I always forget this. I think first through third, is it K through 3? K through 3 may be 23rd, and fourth grade is 24. 24. Thank you. And that's a district thing. So the number of students in the class is, I'm sorry, not district, it's a state thing. And so the state determines the number of students you can have in each classroom.
Got Ms. Coops in the comments.
Hey, Ms. Coops, how are you? Can I give hi to people?
Yeah.
Hi, Ms. Coops, how are you?
Ms. Jennifer Hill.
Oh, Ms. Hill from way back. We miss you, Ms. Hill. How's it going? And Miss Julianne is new to Chancey. Yeah. Welcome, Miss Julianne. We're so excited to have you on the team teaching fourth grade. Yeah. And I shouldn't say Miss Julianne, Miss Hummel. She's a grown-up, and she's a professional. Miss Hummel is joining the Chancey family. What type of family events do we offer? That's a great question. We have lots of family events offered at Chancey Elementary. A lot of them are sponsored by PTA, who is Miss Kuntz is on this, and she's our PTA president. But we really recognize, again, what our students and families need and ways that they want to be engaged in the building or in the learning. PTA sponsors a Muffins with Mom, or it's really breakfast with a buddy. So it doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be a dad. It's just a buddy or a grown-up that you live with, and you get to invite them to have breakfast with you. It's a very cool event. It typically coincides with our Scholastic Book Fair, which is going on right now. Shout out to Miss Ketchum.
Yep.
The Scholastic Book Fair is from November 9th to November 22nd, so make sure you buy a book. But Breakfast with the One You Love or Breakfast with a Buddy typically coincides with the Scholastic Book Fair, which happens twice a year. We have other events are, gosh, they just vary. And of course, I'm drawing a blank because I'm live. We have field day, we have sporting events, we have opportunities for parents to come into the building. It's Thanksgiving time, and we usually have a Thanksgiving lunch. If we were in the building, this is a normal year, we would be inviting anyone that loves a Chansey Cardinal to come on into the building and eat lunch. Certainly welcome to view or see any of the work a Chansey Cardinal has created or completed, that whether it's project-based learning or it's just an assignment or something that they've done that is just worth showing off, you are always welcome to do that. We invite parents to come into the building all the time, have lunch with your kid. We have strong community partners that actually sponsor some events. And so one of our community partners is Northeast Christian. So shout out to them. They are an amazing community partner that sponsors our a princess dance, a boys rule night. They sponsor a Kiddabaloo, but our kids all attend that. Several other schools attended as well, but it is a huge community partnership that we've had for over 9 years. And so they do some really phenomenal things to work with our Chansey Cardinals.
Miss Julie Bookaloo, she says Thanksgiving's the best at Chansey.
Bookaloo is Bucalis, and I love you. Thanks, Julie Bucalis, for hopping on to our Facebook Live. Any other questions? Thanks, Tammy Walker. You're super sweet. Hello, Miss Haney. How's it going? Let's see. Miss Walker knows Miss Haney and knows Jace too. So Jace will be in kindergarten next year. Do you have any questions for us, Miss Haney? It sounds like you have other kids and you probably could do this yourself.
What opportunities are there for parents to be involved? How can parents get involved?
Okay, parents can get involved, and this is a great question for Miss Kuntz, who's on here. And if Miss Kuntz wants to chime in the chat and share with us how parents can get involved, I'd love that. And someone can let me know and I can read it out loud. But parents have multiple opportunities to get involved. PTA also sponsors a birthday book club, and we have parents that help facilitate that and pass out books to all of our Chansey Cardinals when it's their birthday month. Parents are also involved with celebrating teachers and just being there to support teachers and help teachers in any way that they can. They can be a part of SBDM, and that's the school-based decision-making body. So if a parent is interested in sort of the how schools are run, they are certainly welcome to join SBDM. Teachers like parents to be in the classroom to help out. So a lot of times parents are very much welcome to be in there to volunteer, to see their kid working, or to just help a teacher with anything clerical or bulletin boards, whatever. There's just a plethora of ways that parents can help, and we love partnering with parents. So please feel free. This is an open building. You're part of our village in educating your child.
2 questions came in. What makes Chansey special and what makes Chansey stand out? They're kind of the same.
Okay. Chansey's really special just because we have always had a vision or a belief that you really take kids where they are and then you support them in reaching their fullest potential. Chansey has always had a very diverse population or demographic. It's become more diverse with our ESL population, and so we recognize that you really do have to individualize things for every student. And the goal is to see them, succeed academically. And so we know that it is very different. School is not a one-size-fits-all sort of motto. We're not a factory. We don't just crank kids out. But we do recognize that there's this fine balance between they have to take a test that measures their academic attainment, but it's also very individualized because every child is different and unique, and we love that about them.
Just a reminder about our video.
Oh.
That's linked on our Facebook page, and so that they
Okay, please check out our video. It's linked on Facebook. So anything that I kind of forget to say right now could be answered there. We have all the highlights of the wonderful things that are going on at Chancey Elementary. You may see some familiar faces. Our kids are very much a part of that video. And so we'd love for you to check that out if you haven't already. Ms. Kuntz says, we love parent involvement. Teachers enjoy having parents help in the classroom and go on field trips. Thanks, Ms. Kuntz. I didn't mention that. You can help with birthday books, fundraising, field day, spirit wear, picture day, yearbook, and help coach teams. So Ms. Kuntz, thank you so much for helping me out with that one.
A parent asked if you could talk a little bit about ECE, how applying for that works.
Okay, ECE is the Exceptional Child Education, and so it's not exactly an application, but it does take a lot of documentation to determine if a child will qualify to receive ECE services, and it's federally mandated, and so there's a lot of stipulations that we have to follow in order to qualify students for ECE. Mr. Cahill is our school counselor. He is phenomenal and well versed in ECE, the federal law around ECE. And so he is available to assist and answer any questions. If Mr. Cahill is on here and wants to chime in, please do so in the chat. Ms. Foreman is our ECE implementation coach. She is also phenomenal with this. Both teachers have strong ECE backgrounds and have taught ECE kids receiving exceptional child education. Not that all teachers haven't, but they both have been in the classroom by themselves where they taught ECE alone. And so they're very much supportive. If you want to ask any specific follow-up questions about your child, please feel free to reach out to me, call me. Typically, people have my cell phone number. Email me, and I will point you in the right direction.
What steps has Chancey taken during remote learning to keep children involved?
Oh my goodness. Shout out to Miss Bernstein. How are you? And I have to also shout out Miss Burton, who is our new assistant principal. And she has been just amazing in making sure that we celebrate kids, that we have a very strong, positive culture and climate in the building. That's been her main focus here. And so one thing that we have had to do to keep kids involved is just specifically the celebration. We have just started going to classrooms and virtual classrooms and having our own celebration about how kids performed this past 9 weeks. And so we called out kids that, for example, the principals list anyone who's made all A's, honor roll, all A's and B's, and then we highlighted kids that participated and have just done a really good job this entire grading period. And so that's just one way that we've done things. We have a Spirit Week coming up. I believe it's next week, right, guys? I think it's next week. And so that's in the work. It's being developed as we speak. We have an announcement, which is really corny, but it's also really cool. And it's cool because we're taping. It's Mr. Cahill, Miss Burton, myself, and typically a special guest. And we tape it on Friday mornings. We send it to teachers. They show it in the morning meeting. It's just one way that kids can stay connected to us, and we can make sure we have a common message to all of them. I will also tell you that remote learning has not stopped us from really rigorous, engaging instruction. And Miss Milburn is our AIC. And I have to give her a shout out because she makes sure that our teachers are still getting together and planning with one another, looking at standards together, coming up with common assessments so that we know how kids are being assessed, where they are, what they're learning, what we need to do to tweak our instruction. Miss Jones is our literacy coach, and she is just as involved in that planning process as Miss Milburn. So the two of them are a phenomenal part of our instructional coaching team. We also have Miss Baucom, who is our GT, and that's gifted and talented, and primary talent pool coach. We have not had one at Chancey before, but I hired someone specifically whose sole purpose is to identify primary talent pool and gifted and talented kids so that we can grow that group of children, but then also make sure that we are providing them with ample opportunities to develop in this setting. And she is, I don't know if she's on here, and if she has anything to say, I'd love for her to do that. But it is, I think someone's asking, do you have ways to challenge a child who may be more advanced? And yes, ma'am, that is exactly why we hired Ms. Baucom to, not only does she do PBL with kids, but she also works with teachers to help enrich any classroom instruction. But then she just helps us have a really strong pathway to gifted and talented services and gifted and talented experiences with other kids that are also gifted and talented in something, so that they're rubbing elbows with buddies just like them. And so, yes, we absolutely have that in place. Oh, thanks, Ms. Kuhn. She says we've been happy with NTI. I will tell you, NTI was hard throughout the entire country, but Chancey's focus was to make sure that our families knew that it was a partnership. We didn't want to, or I didn't want anyone to be penalized for not turning in work all the time or not logging in all the time. I have 2 kids myself, and I will tell you, my high schooler does a much better job with this, but my middle school boy, I mean, he's on the struggle bus sometimes because he has to manage getting online when he's supposed to, but then also scheduling his time so that when he's not online, he gets the work done. We know that even though he's a middle schooler, elementary kids are dependent completely on parents. And so our instruction, our lessons, the time that we give kids to complete assignments, the support we give to kids in completing assignments has completely been our priority. And so hopefully we've found a nice balance with that. And I'm always open to suggestions or feedback from parents if there's anything we need to do to improve.
Good questions coming in. Do K through 3 still use tiers for math and ELA? Like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3?
Someone's quite knowledgeable of Chancey. In the past, we did have tiers for math and reading, and now we have one of my concerns when I first became the principal here was that we did not have a cohesive curriculum that was vertically aligned throughout our building, which means all on the same page. And whether you're kindergarten or 5th grade, you were taught math with the same sort of principles and philosophies, whatever grade you're in. I think before we would switch, and one teacher may teach using a certain curriculum, and another teacher would teach using a completely different curriculum. Well, we recognize that would confuse kids, and it would make kids start over every year. And so instead of having a tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, where we pull kids out for instruction, we have focused on our tier 1 instruction. And then as kids need the differentiation, whether it's a little remediation if they're struggling and they need some more support, or they need enrichment because they need to be challenged or go deeper with the concept, they still get that tier 1 whole group instruction. And so if that question is referring to something we did in the past, we don't do that anymore for K1, 2, and 3. All kids stay together. It's important to keep all kids together so that they have the continuity of the same teacher all day. But there's differentiation within the classroom. So teachers have been trained on that. There's an amazing group of teachers and staff at Chancey, and they know how to really work with small groups and help kids as they need. And we have support personnel to come in as well that are experts in their areas.
Ms. Baucom's doing a good job putting out there.
Thanks, Ms. Baucom, and I can read that in case people don't see it. Students in K through 3 will be identified in primary talent pool, and my goal is to provide opportunities and activities that encompass the 5 areas of giftedness. Ms. Baucom has been hired to really soar with our gifted and talented and primary talent pool services here, and she has really hit the ground running. There's been, of course, because we're virtual, it's taking a little bit longer than it would if we were in person, but she has still impressed me, and I'm completely appreciative of her help.
What type of technology is available?
Oh my goodness. Chancey has a plethora of technology. We were almost one-to-one, we were one-to-one, 2nd through 5th with Chromebooks before NTI was ever even thought of, before COVID ever even happened. We 2nd through 5th grade students were one-to-one. And then K1 students had iPads that they used because developmentally that's what we thought would be best for them. Well, quite frankly, your kindergartners and first graders are using Chromebooks, and guess what? We have Chromebooks for everyone. So there's lots of technology. Our teachers all have smart boards. They have a whole system, sort of, there's document cameras is what they're called, but they have, and this is, if Julie Bucalis is still on here, she's a tech person, but they have, it's Mac Minis, which was their device to use. And so we just have a lot of technology, and the beauty of it is our teachers truly know what they're doing with it, more so than most of the district. And no shade on the district, but Chansey is like light years ahead with that. Just more of a toot to Chansey.
And we do offer a computer lab.
We also have a computer lab with that's filled with a classroom set of desktops that we use for just several things. If kids need to come in there or go in there, typically it's an assessment like comprehensive school survey or a survey that you're giving to the entire class. We may go in there, but since we've been one-to-one, we don't use it as much, but we do have it if it's needed.
How do you challenge your students as individuals, and how do you promote children to embrace diversity?
Okay, and that's a really good question. And thanks, Ms. Clear, for your question. We are working every day to promote diversity. I don't think it's something in this day and age we can hide from. Again, another shout out to Mr. Cahill, but not just Mr. Cahill, honestly, the teaching staff at Chansey embraces diversity and is very happy to promote individual students and highlight individual students, and not just in diversity, meaning their ethnicity or their race, but also their religion. Maybe, and I hope this is okay, but we do, some of our students come to us thinking about, and believe it or not, gender identity. There's so many things, and I think you first get to know kids as individuals, and you build really strong, trusting relationships with them that allow them to share with you what they're going through in life, what their needs are, how you can support them. And we build great relationships with our students, and that's one of our focus of ours.
Ms. Vincent, what's a typical day in kindergarten?
Oh, Ms. Coons, a typical day when you were teaching kindergarten, or a typical day now that we're in NTI? Great question. A typical day for a kindergartner, my goodness, they wash hands and they use the restroom, and they spend lots of time getting to know each other and just sort of learning the norms of what school looks like. And it's so funny because we know that our kindergartners, some of them come to us that have been in a formal preschool setting, and so they may already know the alphabet and letter sounds and how to write their name or the letters of their name, and then some of them do not. And so that's just another opportunity for us to have some tier 1 instruction that everyone in kindergarten gets, and our reading curriculum supports that. But a typical day in kindergarten, my goodness, I haven't forgotten what kindergarten looks like now that we're in NTI, but at 9 o'clock, they come in, they do morning work. They may do an exercise or something because they have just gotten off a bus or they've been in CP, and they are wiggly little people. They have calendar math in the morning. They have some share time. There's lots of hands-on opportunities for them to textile things where they can touch things. But they're taught all of the content that any grade level is taught. We just recognize that the way it's taught is different because they're 5-year-olds, and they need different things in life. And so we certainly make sure that they have that. Oh, there are kindergarten assistants, and that's a state law. So every kindergarten classroom has an assistant. And so that they are phenomenal. And I'll just give a shout out. Tammy Walker is one of our assistants. Christine Pretty is an assistant. Miss Shree is one of the assistants, and Miss Jacobs Johnson is an assistant in the kindergarten classroom. And they've been here for many years, and they are absolute experts on the 5-year-old, the needs of a 5-year-old, and how to teach content that's developmentally appropriate for a 5-year-old.
Ms. Cheryl Day said we have awesome parent engagement.
Thanks, Miss Day. She's one of our parents. Thanks so much.
She also asked, what will backpack defenses look like for fifth graders?
Oh, that's a great question. I will tell you, we had, Kansler, you have big boys now. How are you? Backpack for fifth graders is, that's a very good question. I'll be honest with you. We are working on a plan for that. They're doing backpack level work, and they are already putting things in their backpack. But what the defenses look like, we are actually trying to develop as we speak. And so I think we were really spending the first 9 weeks trying to get ourselves together with non-traditional instruction. And now that we've got that and, we're all set, it is time to get into some deeper more project-based in a virtual setting, but opportunities for them to put things more things in their backpack, and then looking at backpack defensive. And last spring for backpack, we kids signed up and they were taught how to share their screen and how to present virtually. And so it was the exact same way it would be if it were in person, because we all scored them. And we gave them feedback, and most of it was positive because it was just pretty amazing that they were able to pull it off. Kids are super resilient in what they do, or how they do things. But in the event that we are not in school in the spring, we will also have defenses that are virtual, and kids have been trained on how to share their screen and how to present. And so it will continue to happen. We won't let that stop us. Any more questions? Miss Kanzler is telling us how the kids are doing. Tanner's driving. Good for you, Mom, that you have a driver in your home. Any more questions? If there aren't any other questions, I can continue to talk. I don't want to ramble. I want it to be purposeful. Certainly email me. Certainly give me a call. The moment school buildings are open, I will invite you to the building. If you saw our video, it's very much indicative of what school looks like, what the vision is, what the overall teaching and learning looks like in the building. Feel free to do that if you haven't already. Share with your friends the awesomeness that happens at Chansey.
Any plans for teaching Spanish?
Oh, great question. Foreign language is important, and we are trying to, that is something that we certainly need to look into. Whether it's Spanish or another language, that is certainly something that is on my mind. So as of right now, we don't have a Spanish teacher, but it's certainly something that I value, and I would love for us to embrace that as well. So not yet, but stay tuned. By August of 21, we may have a Spanish teacher. I just don't want to promise that on Facebook Live yet.
Chansey Garden said, can you tell us about the awesome garden?
Oh my goodness, our sweet garden is in need of some love. There were great pictures on the video of the garden, and the garden is so super cool because kids go outside. They love to see pumpkins grow. They don't know about a squash or a zucchini or a cucumber, but they get to see those things in the garden live and in person, and they also get to take part in its development. And so it's a super cool thing. Again, it's another part of the partnership that we have with Northeast Christian in having a garden. But it is something certainly that our kids have loved being a part of and will continue to do. Plans for elementary level sports. I haven't heard of any plans from the district yet for elementary sports, unfortunately, and I wish we had something, but as of right now, there aren't any plans right now. They haven't released that information. Thanks, Ms. Kuntz, about the Chansey Garden. Hopefully I answered questions about that, or I was able to just share with you how exciting and how much it means to us. Any other questions?
That's great questions.
Those are great questions. And I guess I can tell you a little bit more about special area. I don't know if you know Mr. Oldham. He's a phenomenal PE teacher, but he doesn't just teach health or fitness. He also teaches nutrition and your body and the good things that you need to put in your body and just how to be an overall healthy human being. Miss Fazio does an Orff ensemble, and she is our music teacher, so she is just well versed in any music and multiple instruments. Miss Chambers is our art teacher that has been working at Chancey for years now in various capacities, actually, but she has found her love and her place as an art teacher. She just has a natural knack for it, and she's an asset to teaching our kids the different kinds of art and how to really grow in their artistic abilities. Our librarian is Miss Ketchum. She's new to Chancey, but my goodness, she has fit right in, and she is amazing even in this virtual setting. She has is allowing kids to check out books and sits outside with a cart of books, and you can come on by and pick up your book and then return them 2 weeks later. So she's super cool and innovative in what she does. And then our last special area teacher is Miss Stem, who is incredibly creative and knowledgeable and just really unique in how she teaches STEM to Miss Ennis Mahan. Yeah, STEM. Oh, for kids, regardless of their age, she just knows how to jump from a kindergarten kid to a fifth grade kid and still developmentally teach them different concepts that are just really cool and what they would need to know as a 21st century learner. Anything else? I'm squinting. My glasses are at home, trying to see the chat and look in the camera at the same time. Oh, it's so cool that you all are on here. I think that's it. And continue to follow us on social media and certainly reach out to me. If someone can put my email in the chat, Ms. Burton, or I can try and do that. And certainly feel free. I guess I should say something about our office staff. And typically this is where, and I'll be honest with you, Miss Tina and Miss Tracy are our office staff. Miss Tina is our secretary. Miss Tracy is a front office clerk. We also have Miss Patty, who speaks multiple languages, and she is our attendance clerk. And Miss Stephanie is our bookkeeper. You can call any one of those women, and they will direct you into the right way, or direct you to the right place to register your child for school, and just give you all the information you need to know about your cluster, transportation, if you have questions about that. Or anything else. And I guess I should get into some housekeeping things. So you are certainly welcome to ride the bus at Chancey Elementary. And we have CEP, we have walkers and car riders, and we have bus riders. And so those are basically the four modes of transportation at any school, all of which are safe, all of which will get your kid to and from school safely, and they'll be supervised. Sort of, it's hard to supervise kids and drive a bus at the same time, but for the most part, it's a bus, and it is cool and safe, and it's really good for kids because they get to socialize with their buddies. We also at Chancey, we are a community eligibility school, which means that both breakfast and lunch are free. And so if your child likes a hot meal, and we have a great nutrition service manager, Mr. MJ, who is amazing, and sometimes spices our food up just a little bit to make it not taste like cafeteria food. It actually tastes pretty good. And so we serve breakfast and lunch here every day. And I'm looking at the live or the comments, and I don't see any. I have to look. Any questions? All righty.
Your email's in there in the chat, and all our social media platforms.
Okay. Email is in the chat. Social media is in the is linked in the chat. If you have any other questions specifically about your son or daughter that you want answered that I can help you with, please, please, please reach out to me. And Chancey is an awesome place to be, and I look forward to your future Chancey Cardinal. Hopefully it'll be in person. Fingers crossed. Thank you. So do I end it now? Small group organization has been, thanks Ms. Given for that. Thank you all. Have a good evening. I feel like I shouldn't.